Man, these allergies are kicking my ass. It's not COVID. It's allergies.
They all start off the same.
I can't get it again. I've already had it twice, supposedly. I can't get it again.
It ain't like chicken pox.
I know, but I'm just saying the next time's going to take me out. I can't get it again.
Don't say that.
Well, that's why I'm going to make sure I never get it again. No, I live in Florida. The allergies down here right now are terrible. So bad. You got it, Matt? We good?
Yeah.
Are we on Relevant?
So bad.
Yeah, hold on, give me a second. Let me share it real quick.
Okay. Let me know when we're live and Relevant.
All
We
right.
go live way too many places. Hello, AFC South Fan Battle Group. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, all you Titans fans. Because
That's right, I'm back.
you've got a player from your team and your least favorite commentator on tonight. Well, no, DC's on. They like DC. They just don't like you, John.
That's all right, man.
I don't like DC.
You don't?
Oh.
don't like your ass neither.
That's my guy, DC. All right.
Like fighting words right there.
Oh,
We
man.
stick together. We hate
Yeah, Michael,
each other
we-
and
we-
love each other so much.
We got a group of 3,000 members, and this is all we do.
It
is
was
just
10,000.
shit talk.
Yeah, it was 10,000,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Now he became a rat.
Yeah, and Facebook shut us down for calling
Bullying.
people fat.
Somebody told Zuckerberg what we were doing, and he
All
shut
right.
us out.
I am a habitual offender. I've done like 90 days in Facebook jail, probably 120 of long.
Hey, so I don't get this. How does a little Facebook jail thing work? You just mess up or something? They just like.
Let me.
Well, the problem is what happens is since we're a football trash talk group, somebody will be like, "Are you serious? Your defense is trash," and then Facebook will flag it. Luckily now they've given us the admins, the control where we could say no, that was taken out of context. They're talking about a football team, not a person. But they'll flag like certain words like trash, and if you call someone a bitch or anything like that, they flag it. It's stupid.
Yeah, their algorithm is broken. I'm currently serving a 30-day ban, my second one in a month.
For
For saying
calling,
the Titans
Football
defense
numbers.
yeah, you called the Titans defense trash. Yeah.
twice, and I've gotten 30 days for
football
both.
numbers. I've done 4 30-day bids, man, this year. I do football.
Free my boy DC. He didn't do nothing.
Let it free.
Listed in his rap sheet.
Right?
All right, we're good.
All right. Hi, relevant users. Thank you for tuning in. We have a special guest tonight. We will introduce him in a minute. We're about to get this ball rolling as far as the podcast production side goes. Got to make sure sound is good on my end and my phone stops ringing. That would be helpful. Justin, are you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You haven't said anything.
I'm just relaxing.
Oh. Is it because it's a Titans player and you're a Jags commentator?
No, it's because Trevor Lawrence looked great today.
I
And
know.
I'm
It does feel good.
salivating and severing it at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
He's begun the countdown Michael was talking about pre-show.
So who's y'all's backup though? Y'all got rid of Mitchie.
It's
That's
C.
Brethard.
Yeah, CJ
Alright.
Brethard. Yeah.
I'm sad
Niners.
about Minshew. I liked watching him play, but not for his football game, if you know what I mean. It's fine.
She is the only person that is sad.
I'm waiting on my man Colin Johnson. If he-
Yeah.
Man,
That's my
Me
boy.
too.
That's my boy.
If he could ever stop getting hurt, and two, play to the potential of he should. I mean, he's like 6'5", 6'6", can run, catch radius unbelievable. He just can't stay healthy.
That's also wasn't he Jimmy Smith's?
yep.
Yeah, Jimmy
Smith
Smith.
guy.
Jimmy Smith said he's going to have a breakout year this year, and to make sure we tell him to hit the squat racks. That if he stayed in the weight room and hit the squat rack.
The only thing is he always gets the soft tissue injuries like hamstring, all that. Like it's not like he's like
Careful, you're going to make Harish cry because T.Y. Hilton. Oh no, that wasn't hamstring.
Oh,
this
Paris
time, my bad.
Campbell.
It was his
Campbell,
back.
Neck.
who he says is a 1,000-yard wide receiver.
Who?
You say that about Pitt.
All right. Let's get this going. We'll save the trash talk for the show.
You might do it this year now.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I am your host, Samantha Wernett. I would just like to report real quick. Normally, we would jump right into the commentators, but we really, major news. Kanye hung out with Marilyn Manson, set himself on fire, remarried Kim Kardashian, and dropped Donda today with Jay-Z on the track. So that's pretty much all the news we have. Have a good night. Nothing else matters. I'm just kidding. Did you guys see that, though? And Jaguars clout chased it by sharing an image similar to Kanye West that it dropped on the same day that Trevor Lawrence played. Anyways, introducing our commentators for this evening. For the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
What up? Let's do it.
For the Colts, we have Harish Nukala.
Yeah, welcome to the hospital where things are going great.
Nice. T.Y.'s back. Hurt. For the Jaguars, we have Justin Gonzalez.
Hello.
You sound happy today.
Little chipper there.
Yeah.
And we actually have two Titans commentators for this evening because of our special guest, who I'll announce in a moment. We have John Haw.
There it is. This is a good night. Two Titans people instead of just me just getting piled on by a bunch of people. I got some backup.
There you go. It's like good cop, bad cop tonight. And also we have DC Hall joining us.
Tighten up all day, every day, back for the third time. Happy to be back as always. Let's get it.
And introducing our special guest, he's a 2006 national champion, two-time Pro Bowler, analyst for the Longhorn Network, cupcake aficionado, and former safety for the Longhorns and Titans, Mr. Michael Griffin. How are you doing this evening?
How are y'all doing? I'm doing great. Just enjoying my late night cap beverage.
That sounds delicious. You're going to make sure you drink it really fast. You're going to need it for this show. Well, to start, welcome and thank you. You are our first Titans player that we've had on here. And it's an honor to have you out of all of them since you played there for so long. I'm really excited to get your input. We have lots of questions from the group and a few of the commentators who couldn't be here this evening. But I have to start off by asking, since I always have to start with a controversial question, which AFC South team was the hardest to play, and which would you have rather played for, and why is it the Jaguars?
Which team was the hardest? Of course, it was the Colts. Reason being, come on, they had a Hall of Famer at quarterback.
Jacksonville didn't have Peyton Manning on the other side.
they had Peyton Manning, and then they followed Peyton Manning with Andrew Luck. But
it was rough.
And so they were always, and it's self-explanatory, spoke for itself. If you would have said later on, you would have looked at the Houston Texans always had a dominant defense when it came with
Go.
When they came with J.J. Watt and when J.J. Watt, the young J.J. Watt before all the injuries, and Brian Cushion, just to name a few of the guys, Jonathan Joseph, and the list just goes on. Kareem Jackson. But if you ask me who I would have rather played for,
You don't have to overthink it. We know. It's the Jaguars. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
Don't let her lead you. Don't let her lead you. You can. Your answer can be you could stay if you wanted.
Because when I was playing there with the Titans, it was always either the Houston Texans or it was the Colts that were like always winning the division. So if you would have said earlier in my career, it would have easily been to play with Bob Sanders, but they also had Anton Mateo. But if I could have played with those guys, earlier in the career when they went to the Super Bowl and things, that probably would have been the Colts. But if I probably would have loved to stay home in Texas and play for the Houston Texans, just because it was less than an hour and a half away from home.
Yeah, just ride home after the game.
Yeah, so Jacksonville Jaguars, no could do.
Hey, I don't blame you on that one. Well, John, go ahead and start us off with the real questions. What you got for him?
Look, this is just a fun time. I like it. See, we were talking, while you were with the Titans, there's some dark times, you're a bright spot of the dark ages, but I have a lot of nostalgia for like your time with the Titans. That '08 team was so fun for me. Like I followed you guys so closely that year, and it was so much fun. I just want to know, give us like a good story from that 2008 season. My favorite, of course, was that Pittsburgh game because nobody thought you guys were going to win against Pittsburgh going in. And you guys not only won, but you really, really, really took it to them. It was a great defensive performance. You got any good stories from that year? Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted to, but you guys were just unstoppable, it felt like.
Man, it was funny because if you just knew the team. Like we know, of course, Coach Fisher was our coach. He's a former player. He was a player's coach, and so just the way he operated, it was. You see, guys will come to practice literally with like flats, like no cleats, no nothing. Like Keith Bullock would like do 7-on-7. This is how I realized how good Keith Bullock really was.
Love Keith Bullock.
He would literally do 7-on-7, and he would just point to like in the middle of the thing, like, hey, I'm gonna be right here. And you're like, what? They're complete passes all day in practice, but he would just say, in the game, I'm gonna be right here, or I'm gonna be right there. And so the whole 7-on-7 period would be like pointless because you'd be like, we're really not practicing because Keith Bullock would just not move. He would just point. But when the game came, he would say, hey, Griff, I'm gonna be here. I need you to be right here. And hey,
I'm gonna
take the first window. The ball should come to the second window. You get your pick. And it was just little things like that, just the way how our defense just operated. And it was like, we just had a mindset like we were only going to give up like once. Like we was like the number one defense. We was not giving up points. That was like our main goal. And I remember we was playing the Houston Texans, and we were it was the game before Pittsburgh, and Coach Schwartz told us, allow Houston to score so we can give our offense the ball back to try to go down and win the game. And we all looked at Schwartz and was like, who gonna let who score? If y'all don't let them score, we're gonna lose this game, and then we got to play Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship, like for the seed. And we were like, and your point is what? And so we didn't let them score. And so we ended up losing that game. We played Pittsburgh the next week, and we took them on like toe-to-toe, and we ended up winning that game. Unfortunately, I guess we stepped on a terrible towel, and I guess that's what started our dark ages.
Yeah, we ain't superstitious that way.
But again, I mean, it was just, we just had a different mindset. It was like each and every day in practice, it was like game play. We just really embraced it. And I mean, Kyle Van Der Bosch.
Is he as crazy as it seems?
You know what? He had one speed and one speed on. He played the same way. Tony Brown, who was an undersized defensive tackle, he used to wear his tall tees every day at practice. He was like comical. Of course, Cortland Finnegan, you know him. I mean, it's self-explanatory for him. But Chris Hope, Nick Harper, all those guys. I mean, it was just a great opportunity to be able to play on that defense. And me and Court being the two young guys on the team, and being able to play with those guys, it was a great opportunity. Then the next year, it just seems like everybody got paid, went to other teams, and from there it was rebuilding, and it got ugly from that point. Very ugly.
Well, DC, I have to. Well, hold on. Let me stop real quick. I'll edit this part out. But if I keep stepping away, it's because my child, like, knows when we do podcasts. So she keeps crying, and I'll walk in there, she'll get quiet, and then I come back, and she cries again, and I go. So, excuse me. All right. On that note, DC, do you have any questions for Michael?
Yes, I do. I have two quick questions regarding your pro career. So one thing I love about football is fantasy, right? And another thing I like about football as well is the fact that all pro selections they're very important, and they hold high standard within football. Samantha mentioned that you were a 2-time Pro Bowler, but she forgot to mention that you were a 1-time All-Pro. How did you feel when you won that selection? And I wasn't trying to, slight you, Samantha.
Don't lie, you were.
She's used to it. It's all right.
To be honest with you, I mean, it's an honor, man. And when you get voted as All-Pro, you get voted as a Pro Bowler or whatever. That's just the respect that you get from your peers. And I mean, it's a blessing, man. it's just so many different blessings when it comes to playing the game of football. You know, a lot of people are playing their preseason games, just left college, and that season might not win as planned, especially with the whole COVID thing going on. And then you get this opportunity to play 3 preseason games, and it may be a lot of young men's last opportunities to be able to step foot on the football field. And despite everything that's going on in the world today, and so just to be able to step foot on the field, you know, it was a blessing. The accolades that came with it, it was still a blessing. And at the same time, you don't achieve those goals. You don't achieve those accolades without your teammates, you know. And so I say that to say that even though I was voted a All-Pro, or even though I was voted Pro Bowls, at the same time, it was all credit due to the team. You know, those are team accolades still, even though it looks like they're individual awards. It's still team awards because it all works collectively together. If the front 4 ain't getting pressure on the quarterback, if the linebackers are not stopping the run, it doesn't give me the opportunity to play in the back half and get interceptions and play the pass, you know. And so if you look early in the career and earning accolades and things as a team, you look later on when things weren't working right collectively, when the defense, when collectively we couldn't get the job done, whether it was stopping the run, stopping the pass, or whatever, you see how those accolades and things disappear. So, you know, we all took part of that, all 11 of us, whoever's on that football field. So, you know, it was a blessing and it's an honor to have those awards. But at the same time, despite the fact individually you have an individual name there, it's still a team award. You have guys such as, you know, you look at the 100 top players that got, you know, voted by players or whoever voted. When you got Travis Kelce in the top 10, when you got, you know, Patrick Mahomes in the top 10, Mahomes is not doing those things unless Tyreek Hill and, you know, Sammy Watkins or whoever it may be, Kelce, those guys are catching the ball. You're not getting those accolades. People are dropping balls. You're not getting those things. And then vice versa. You don't, Patrick Mahomes, if you don't have somebody blocking up front, you don't have the running back core and things like that able to get the ball off. Those things are not happening. So those are all team, to me, whatever awards you get when it comes to being a part of a team, those are team awards. So it's a blessing by all means. And I would say that I was able to accomplish those things based off the fact that, you know, hold on, I'm sorry. I think I got something messed up a little bit. Hold on, can y'all still hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's me. But I mean, I wasn't being able to accomplish those awards unless it was, you know, for my teammates and things in that nature. So that's how I look at those type of things.
Great, very insightful, man. And my second question, right?
Okay.
And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but
That's how every good question starts like that.
This was more the hardball question, right? So you were around when Vince Young was around at that time.
Correct.
Right? And I was a huge Vince Young fan. And to me, he was like the first option quarterback before there was an option quarterback in today's NFL like there is now. So what was Vince Young like tendencies like? Like, was the whole thing about him going to Cheesecake Factory and missing flights true? Like, what was all of this? Like, I gotta know.
Be careful, Michael.
I gotta know.
Be
and
careful.
When I was asking the first question, it was out of nervousness.
You know what? I would say this, and to be honest, like, ain't nobody perfect. We all make mistakes, and the thing that I also say is that let's just be 100% honest. 21, 22 years old, and they give you $1 million. Like, think about yourself. I don't know how old you are right now. Like, I'm 36. How?
I'm 31. But at the time when Vince Young was
31.
I was a teenager.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
10 years ago.
21, 22 years old, I give you 30 million, 40, $50 million. How you acting?
I'm gonna go crazy.
I'm gonna go get massages.
Crazy.
I was about to say the same thing.
I'm going to strip club.
The sky's the limit. I mean, and it's you know, wasn't nobody perfect. I mean, you know, this, you know, we live by a creed, so you know.
Well, let me ask you that to elaborate on that, just like from an opinion standpoint. We actually talked about this a few episodes ago. Do you think, or does anybody even care to kind of bring in advisors for these young guys to kind of be like?
I think you do. Truthfully, I would say I think you do. You got, but you can't bring just anybody. You gotta bring people that's been down that path that can relate.
Yeah, like to even have like a core.
I can't have Joe Blow, who has a degree in psychology or whatever, and say, "Hey, come on, you're gonna talk to me." No, you can't talk to me about what I'm going through and what I've been through and what it takes for me to get here. You don't
Yeah.
know how I feel. You don't know what it's like getting up every day and I check my phone and it's mom, dad, brother, cousin, homeboy, or whatever it is, reaching out to me, talking about, "Hey, I'm going through X, Y, and Z. Can you help me?"
So there's actually a player on the Jaguars, and I won't like name the specific person who it is because I don't think it's public knowledge. But I've heard that they are going through that specific thing with money.
Like I would say it is, and I'm willing to talk about this. So the same year I made it to the Pro Bowl, my first year, people didn't realize that every Friday I was flying to Texas because I was going to court because I'm fighting with my son's mother just to be a father, and I'm paying all this money in court.
Right.
But
Yeah.
no one knows that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I fly down there Friday. I miss practicing everything on Friday. The entire year, the year we beat 7 interceptions and everything else. Every Friday, I was flying to Texas, and people didn't know this, and that's why I'm so gratitude and grateful for Coach Fisher. But I was flying, and I'm not saying, "Hey, pity me or poor me or whatever," but I was blessed to be able to do it and things of that nature because I know people that are trying to be fathers and don't have the financial means to do these type of things. But I'm literally, thank God I had a coach that's like, "Hey, go do what you got to do or whatever. Make sure you back before the game."
Right.
So
I heard Fisher was a lot like that. He was really, really generous for the players, and he was really understanding of a lot of the things they went through.
And I think to have somebody to come in,
terrible. Like,
yeah, I think to have somebody to come in that like was a player and say like, "Look, don't blow all your money." Like,
it is because again, it's like I'm literally flying. Again, I'm flying every Friday to go to Texas to go to court, and then the judge is like, "Hey, you got to come back, or we need to continue. So we need something X, Y, and Z." And then I fly back, and then I check into the hotel Saturday night, really frustrated and upset, or whatever it is. And then you go into the game. Hey, turn all that off.
Time to play.
And you got to play a football game and lay it all on line for the other 52 players on your team. And then, win or lose, you still got to deal with X, Y, and Z. So I say that to say, I remember when I did my intern coaching, I remember during the middle of training camp, I remember a young gentleman who's already lost his mother or his father. In the middle of training camp, he lost the next one. And he's there like, "Hey, it's okay to leave." He's like, "No, I'm undrafted. I got to try to make this team."
yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I remember even during the whole, and a real good friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but I remember we were in the combine. He lost his mother. She got murdered at I think he was around 9 years old. And I remember his father had a heart attack right before he ran the 40. And they called him, said, "Hey, you can leave." And he said, "To go to what? I don't have anything at home." And I say this to say that you build young men up from a young age.
I don't know. I have a special guest on, bro.
Why?
Go.
I'm with you. But what I say is, you build us as young men from a very early age to not have any emotions and not to be normal. So I say that to say, a young man, 21, 22 years old, goes through so much stuff all his entire life, and then you hand him millions, and that money, he feels like all my prayers is answered, and now I'm able to get or do whatever I need to do to help all these people around me. And I really don't understand financial literacy because I see that check and I just.
And there's people that take advantage of that too.
Russell Wilson's girlfriend at the draft. She thought she had.
And then you go back to now you got college players getting paid. I said, "Oh Lord, it's about to get even ugly."
Yeah. It's actually really sad. Like it's almost like a, hey, we're gonna like even if somebody was to come in and say like we'll give you all this, but we're gonna set you up a trust or something.
I mean, what's the? I mean, think about it. What's the young man right now? I think was it Charlotte Hornets or whatever, the wife or whatever that's divorcing him. He got to pay so much. the
Oh,
back.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington. Yeah.
Like, and everybody looking at him like, and then you know us in the locker room
all over
because we so macho man. We like, oh, he dumb. Like nobody wants to sit there and have a real conversation. Like, bro, what are you really going through? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't know if he did it when you were a player. But I did read that Eddie George has stepped up, and because he has lost a lot of money, kind of everything you've spoken about, and I've heard he has went to the draft before the combine and all that, talking to these young players and say, hey, look, you do got to set yourself up.
Man, listen,
you know.
like I tell you, like people don't.
It's cool to see somebody do that, you know.
Like what I did, right? So when I first came into the league, it was like, okay, let me look around and let me see who's doing everything the right way. And it was like, because I really felt like when I came in the league, any given Sunday was like real. Like, oh my, the movie I watched was like the truth. When I got to the Titans, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So, you know, I was like, me and Chris Hope, I literally moved 2 houses next door to him because he was a starting safety. I'm like, I'm going to learn the game from him because I knew he won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I moved 2 houses next door to him. And then I realized, okay, you got to work out and take care of your body because he said, hey, your body's a multi-million-dollar industry. Like, you got to treat your body like a business. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So I started watching and following him on everything he was doing. And so I started figuring those things out. But, you know, I say this to say that, but, when you're in a locker room, there's different tax brackets, you know, like literally there's different tax brackets because people were like, why are you not hanging out with Vince Young? Then y'all go to college together? I'm like, listen, I was drafted number 19. He was, you know, we in different tax brackets, Jack.
He's
like,
up in first class.
yes, like, no. And so the one thing that I learned was live a lifestyle that you can financially maintain if the game of football was taken away from you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, did I want to go buy all the Louis Vuitton and all the jewelry and all the cars? I was like, it looks great, but there's a difference between I want and I need. And so for me, it was like, all right, let's try to figure this out. I went and found car deals. Like, I'm driving cars for free. I'm not buying cars. Like, where am I going to go to enjoy a car at? Like, so jewelry, you ask me today, I still go shop at Claire's. I mean, you're going to automatically think it's real. Like, that's just what people think. Oh, that's Michael Griffin. That's real jewelry. Like, that's what I do.
Or if it's me, they go, that's Samantha Burnett. That's fake jewelry.
Yeah. So, and then it's like car-wise, like, okay, you know, the more expensive the car is, the more the oil change and everything else is going to cost. So for me, it's like, listen, I want to continue a lifestyle that I can financially maintain, but at the same time, I got 3 kids that I want to make sure that if I was to leave today, that they are financially stable, and if they was to have a family, they are financially stable, and just figure out generational wealth, because that's the one thing that we don't put ourselves in situations because we get so fascinated with, like, especially right now with social media. Thank God it wasn't what it is today.
Listen, could you imagine being Zach Wilson right now and having your mom clout chase you on Instagram?
Listen,
Can you imagine that locker room, that poor kid?
I can just imagine right now, if LeBron James got drafted right now out of high school, his mom, you remember everything he dealt with. Like, his mom was supposedly messing around with the teammates and stuff.
Devontae West.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Who's now
That's
crackhead?
that's what happened to his
Struggling
hairline.
himself, yeah.
That's what happened to his hairline.
Can you imagine?
Oh, that's not
now?
nice. That's not nice. Yeah.
But can you imagine now on how that
Yeah.
would have been?
Yeah.
I mean,
Would've been wild.
Kanye West putting addresses to Drake out, like, on social media.
No,
like,
even better, he had the woman that Drake supposedly knocked up on the front porch of his Donda thing.
it doesn't even matter. Like, Reggie Bush married to Kanye West too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I think I forgot about that. I forgot
Oh,
about that
man.
until just now.
That's all.
what I'm saying is, can y'all imagine if social media was back then? Like, think about it. Like, Kim Kardashian was dating Reggie Bush. From Reggie Bush,
totally forgot about
she had the show with Humphreys. the basketball player, which I went to school with his sister. She went to Texas. She was a diver. But if we had social media back then, we all probably would have been clowning her like, dude, what is wrong with your brother? Like, you need to get him out of the situation. Like,
Tell him to run.
Think about it. And then you think about the Ray J. But literally, it's like, if you really think about it, if the social media was today back then, it would have been ugly.
It would
Like,
It'd been bad.
It definitely would have been really.
it would have been ugly. Like, half the stuff that's going on right now is like, it's only because of social media. Whatever you do, everybody got a phone like this. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Ray Lewis with social media back then? Oh, bro.
Oh, that would have been bad.
Like, literally, you go places, it's like weird. You even got like friends and stuff. Like, I tell like my friend, like, hey, bro, why you always got your phone up? What are you doing? Like, put your phone up.
Yeah, it doesn't make it even. Yeah.
Like, we're grown men. Can we live in the moment? What are we trying to relive it? Like, what are we doing?
Well, me and my colleagues at the NSA see it all, man. We see
Oh
it.
yeah, I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, social media is like crazy.
He's like, change the subject. I didn't realize he was an agent. No, we don't know what John Ha does for a living, so we're all convinced he works for the NSA because he also lives in Utah. So
Sits right
still
there.
trying to
It's
figure
right
it out.
next door.
Well, let me
How
ask you.
How do you think we found you, Michael?
Yeah, I found him. Q on Twitter.
I thought it was social media. But
Social media.
Yeah, see, if we did
That's right.
social media, we wouldn't have been able to find you, right? We just
It's
harass you until you say yes. You're like, fine, leave me alone. Quit tagging me. No, just
Come
kidding.
in for cupcakes until you say yes.
Well, I'm gonna kind of combine these next two questions, and then we will take one from the group, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But Scott Barbine and Ray Cherry, they couldn't be with us tonight, so I kind of have a combo question from both of them. So Scott wanted to know what you think it would be like to play for this Titans regime as opposed to the one you played for, but then also to back on that, Ray Cherry also said, how special was that 2008 How special was the 2008 defensive squad, and what do you think that this defense needs to do to be to that level? So they're kind of the both. Like, what's the difference in the two, and what can this team do to be like that?
If I would have said the difference in the teams, I would say this Titans team now.
It's a mirror image, I'd say.
The strengths, no, I would say different. The strengths is the offense. Because you have Derrick Henry, you still have two dynamic wide receivers, and you have a quarterback that people thought I was tripping when I was like, oh, y'all done gave Ryan Tannehill some weapons. Y'all are going to really see the real Ryan Tannehill. And people thought I was like, what do you mean? You seen him in Miami.
Can I make a confession real quick?
Go ahead and make your confession.
I drafted Ryan Tannehill today in fantasy.
Me too. I definitely did too.
You did a great job. But
Me too.
I say that to say, I think the difference now is that when I was on that 08 team, even with Chris Johnson coming in as he was a rookie.
My guy. I love Chris Johnson.
The receiving core, you had Chris Johnson, you had Lindell White, you had, the 2018 was led by Kerry Collins, even though Vince Young was on the team. If we go back to the Jaguars game.
Week 1.
And you had Algie Crumpler, who was on the back end of his career. And
Nate Washington, right?
Nate Washington wasn't there. Nate Washington, he's still mad at
Pittsburgh.
He was in
Pittsburgh.
The receiving core, you asking me, I'm still trying to figure out who the receiver
The thing is, 09, you got Nate Washington and Kenny Britt showed up, and then it's like everyone forgets.
They showed up the year after.
Yeah, 09 was when they showed up.
So I think it was Justin Gage, if I'm not mistaken, and then it
Was Bo Scaife? Was Bo Scaife there?
Bo Scaife was there, but like you remember, our offense wasn't we weren't putting up a lot of points.
No, it was the Chris Johnson
It
and
was
Landell
like-
White show. It was
It was,
That's
but
what it
it
was.
was like a lot of our games was nail biters. I remember playing
Oh, yeah.
with Baltimore. We went to
the
Baltimore.
first Baltimore game.
We beat Baltimore there, and
Mhm.
that was a rookie Joe Flacco.
Mhm.
I remember we played. I mean, Cleveland and all those games was pretty easy, but just thinking about all those games, it was all like nail biters. Like it was all up to the defense to make plays. And I think now when you look at the Titans, you look at their offense, they are able to score at any given time.
And it's still nail biters.
It's still nail biters. And that's like you say, the mirror image because you know,
Yeah.
I think I'm excited to see how this young secondary and this young team, develops because right now the veteran group
Is Caleb Farley is he gonna step up? He didn't look too good yesterday.
Man, listen, he got hurt. I mean, he's been out of football for a while now.
It's true.
You're gonna get better. Plus, he's a rookie. You gotta understand. The game is he's literally each and every week he's playing the best receiver every week. It's not like you play a game, you play one Big 12, you play Kansas. I don't think I ever heard anybody outside of Khalid Talib or my man that's left the Broncos cornerback that's playing now for the Chargers.
Talib.
No, the Chargers.
Harris?
Yeah,
Chris
Harris.
Harris.
Yeah.
Like again, like those are two guys that ever came out of University of Kansas. You can't never name anybody else as long as you think of it. So, when you look at him, he did a phenomenal job. I watched some when the practice when he played against Tampa. I mean, he's using a lot of raw talent. I think it's going to take time for him to develop to be a top tier corner. He has all the attributes, but it's just how bad do you really want it? But again, I think when you look at last year's team and you ask Kevin Byard to step up and be the leader of the defense and understand that you was missing the guys like Jarrell Casey, Wesley Woodyard, Derek Morgan, Logan Ryan. You had veterans at all tiers of the game. And then you ask younger guys who's never been in those positions to step up and to do those type of things. And so, I spoke to Kevin once here and there, and I'm like, listen, play your game. Don't try to start overcompensating and doing things that, you feel like you got to make up for things. And so, with that being said, I think on the offensive side of the ball, you have a lot of firepower there. But at the same time, it's going to put a lot of stress on your defense because it's going to make an offense open up and say, hey, listen, we got to catch up. We got to throw the ball around the field. And so you got to have guys like Fulton who has to step up. And a lot of these young guys, Hooker, he's going to be the starter this year. So
How's the pass rush going to do?
Again, you got to have these guys. They got to, Landry, you got to get after the quarterback. You got to see my man who came from Pittsburgh. You got to see what he's going to do coming off the edge. So guys are going to have to start stepping up. And this is what I remember on the secondary and on the defense side of the ball. That's what happened to us, I remember. And it was weird because a guy like Sindari Marks, who we drafted, he left us and went to Jacksonville, Samantha, and ended up having a hell of a career. But we were looking for that same guy in Tennessee. Even a guy like Jason Jones, who left us, who career games is always against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he left us and still ended up having a good career despite some injuries. So you're going to have these younger guys. They're going to have to step up. Evans, all these guys are going to have to step up.
Jayon Brown,
which he's a Zach Brown to me. He's just similar to Zach Brown. Very athletic, very talented, but he has to take it to the next level. And it's weird because Zach Brown left and went to the Pro Bowl after he left the Titans. And so you realize these guys are definitely capable of being great players. They just got to somehow, some way together, collectively work together as a team and go out there and achieve and get the job done. So when we say the mirror image, I think back then in 2008, the defense was the part of the team that led and the offense followed. Now you got the offense that's intact, and the defense is falling. But if the defense can match the intensity of the offense, they can definitely be a really, really good football team.
Kind of like the Chiefs when they won the Super Bowl the year past.
Exactly. I mean, it was like later on in the season, you remember the Chiefs started kind of slowing down, and then all of a sudden, defense picked it up.
Exactly.
And so that's what has to happen. Even if you look at Tampa Bay, that young defense started, especially in that back half, them young boys started stepping it up. Winfield Jr., like his game elevated, and they got upset and threw him the flag. Hey, you earned it. You got a Super Bowl ring. Tyreek Hill threw him the peace sign early in the season. He threw him the peace sign right back after he got an interception. But that's what has to happen is the whatever team is doing a phenomenal job and leading the team, the other team, part of the team has to step it up and match their intensity. And that's the only way you could be a dynamic team that can make it to the Super Bowl and win it.
That must have been what happened to the 2017 Jaguars. Only the defense was stepping it up, right, Justin?
Talking about the 27?
2017, the 2017 Jaguars.
2007 Jaguars now. I remember them.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, it was the same combo. Beat the Steelers, lose to the Patriots.
I remember them 2007. I remember
David Garrard.
David Garrard. Y'all had Reggie.
Yeah.
Actually, I just ran into David Garrard at a scrimmage game that we had, and he was with his family. I wanted to be like, oh my God, David Garrard, let me take a picture. But he was with his kids, so I wanted to be. And I just walked up to him, and I was like, hi, David. You're my Trevor Lawrence. Okay, bye.
Wow.
He was like, oh, thank you. Hey,
Somebody remembers me.
Yeah, somebody recognized me. Hi. I'm like, yes. Hello. Anyways, we'll wrap it up with this last question, and then y'all talk about and wrapping up preseason, what do you predict this year's Titans to go? And also segue.
Longhorns don't disappoint me.
Right.
They don't disappoint. It's expected as of. But of course, we own Gigi's Cupcakes, and me and Brian Wrightpo, another Titan, and another one of our business partners, Brian Henson. We some things on Food Network and things like that. Maybe something on CBS is coming up, a reality TV show. We'll see what happens from there.
Oh, what is that? Hold on, please.
We'll see.
As the female of the group, can you let me know? Can you slide that into the podcast DMs?
Yes, I will slide that in the podcast.
Does it revolve around football players?
You know, you acting like you're single. I saw a ring on the left finger.
I'm not. I'm just curious. I love.
He's always looking to upgrade the roster.
My favorite things in life are football and reality TV.
Don't say you for the streets now.
No, I'm not. I'm from the ponds. Okay.
Streets will get you in trouble now.
No, I love football and I love reality TV, so I want to know more.
Her husband know who she married.
Hey,
That's true.
let me stop my wife coming here and look at me to who you in there flirt with. But anyways,
this dude on this podcast. You're like, what?
Yeah, hey, strictly woman now. Here we go.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Woman. I gotta try to sleep in my bed tonight. All right. But,
I know. You're gonna walk in there. She's gonna punch you in the back of the head.
She ain't gonna go for a Titan. It ain't gonna happen.
She's 5'11", so we're about the same height, so I don't want to fight her. But yeah. So we got that going on, and man, I really think the Tigers could do some great things this year. I think they should win the AFC South. Of course, the tough opponent.
Yeah.
Is the Colts for some odd reason. It's the Colts.
Always, baby.
And it's always the Colts in Indianapolis. Always. I don't know what it is. I think it's the turf. Everybody's mad.
We just beat them 2 years in a row there.
It's funny because the Colts can't beat the Jaguars at home, but you know.
But it's just something about going up there. I mean, and unfortunately, from a man, well, I think the Colts helped us out this year when they y'all traded for a quarterback who, can't really stay healthy as much. But
be careful, Michael. Be careful what you wish for. Careful now. Hold on.
Then I gotta be upset. I gotta be upset with y'all because then he didn't rubbed off on my guy Sam from Texas,
Bro, I wanted to talk to you about that.
he done rubbed off from a guy, Sam. So
Hey.
that's really
Well,
a-
hey, listen, we got Mike Griff for the rest of the podcast, so let's go
Yeah,
ahead and segue in.
Go ahead, ask what you got.
Go ahead and segue into the Colts and the preseason game and what we got going on with the Colts, and you can go ahead and ask Mike your question before we hit up the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, so preseason game 3. Jacob, you know what? We're kind of looking at the backup situation here, right? Jacob looked good. People give Jacob a lot of crap, but you got to understand Jacob's working with 2s and 3s and 4s. I thought it was very efficient. My one big problem with Jacob is he has one type of speed when he throws the ball. And that type of speed, it's an adjustment he's going to make. I think overall, both, Sam had that amazing throw to Patman after escaping the pocket and avoiding a sack, and unfortunately turned into an ACL sprain is what they're calling it. The secondary is scaring me right now as far as the backups go. Just guys not being in their spots. The pass rush is getting where it needs to go. But I'm sure those are things will sure up. Rocky Sin is slowly starting to give me some worries. But, I mean, Michael talked about it earlier. Playing secondary in the NFL is a different beast, right? It's not easy. It's an adjustment. But, yeah, I mean, we'll go into week 1. Carson is supposed to be in a practice full participant tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. As far as my question for Michael, obviously I'm going to go back to the Longhorn.
Can I ask you one before you ask him a question, real quick?
Yeah.
With the recent injury, does Ty retire this year?
I don't know, man.
Come on, it's time. It's time. Come on.
He might be forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how sick neck and back at 31, he might not have a choice.
I mean, literally with the neck injury, the neck and the back is like 2 injuries that there's really nothing you can do.
It's no joke.
The game of football, you got a helmet on, your neck, your back. I mean, literally, my last year, I herniated a disc in my back, and it was like, man, this is over. And even to this day, it's like every morning I wake up, and it's like I got to warm up just to get moving.
Yeah.
And
That's what happened to JJ
man.
Watt's career after his back. He's never been the same.
like it's out when I tell you, it's like when that left leg go numb and you over here trying to think like, all right, let me, you something that you think naturally, you just start walking, you got to think like, all right, pick this left leg up. Like
That's brutal.
Like again, I'm 36 years old. I retired going on almost 5 years ago. So I'm 32 years old walking around here like, whew, trying to figure this out. And then I played my last year with Carolina with a herniated disc, and every hit I made, I'm like, please don't have me land on this field trying to get back up.
Oh, no. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean,
I mean, it's tough at that age, so.
I mean, it's tough. Think about trying to go use the restroom number 2 and you sitting there and you can't bend over because your back's locked up. It's like, good luck.
Yeah.
Get the other day.
Damn.
Hey, you're just as old as me, okay? The problem is it's caught up to you faster than it's caught up to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
We're on the same level now. You could still outrun me. I can't.
Like, there we go.
All right, go ahead, Harish. Ask him a question.
Yeah, so my question is, I mean, obviously the struggles of Texas are known, but how does it make you feel to see players be successful in their NFL careers? Guys like Sam, Tariq Black is playing well, Colin Johnson, they're making NFL rosters. It makes me think as a fan. When
I look at Sam, and the thing is, I always said, even covering him, with Longhorn Network, it's like, is he a complete quarterback? I don't think he had the coaching to develop him to be a complete quarterback. I am very surprised and pleased to see how well he's playing and using his arm compared to using his legs.
Yep.
The one thing we always say was he's a modern day Tim Tebow when he played college football because he threw his body on the line. But the one thing that we said was at that next level, that's not going to fly. Like, people are going to match that physical, that intensity. People are going to match that. Like, no one's scared of you. They're going to hit you. So, very surprising. You can see like the way he's throwing the ball, throwing things on time or whatever. And the thing that you would definitely love about Sam, and if you know his history with his father passing away, his brother just passed away very recently, and just just the way that he operates and he puts it all on the line for his team. There were some games last year that you're like, Texas is out of it, and you just realize they're not. Texas should be out of it, but because you had Sam as your quarterback, you realize that you still had a chance. Some way, somehow, he was going to do something crazy. And so, I felt bad to see the injury and realize he's out for the next couple of weeks or whatnot, but thank God it's not a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
But I think he would have the same kind of career as a Colt McCoy, if not better. And as you notice, and I say that to say that Colt McCoy has had some opportunities to start from Cleveland Browns early in his career, but he's also came back and became a backup for RG3 and those guys in Washington.
He's a backup now, yeah.
And then he's been a backup at a lot of different teams that he's been with. And so you realize that you got a guy on your team that can win you some football games if you need to have him fill in for a couple of games, 1, 2, maybe 3 games or whatnot. So I think Sam definitely has, and he also you look at like a guy like Chase Daniels, who made a very good career. Same guy, very mobile, not your ideal 6'4", 6'5" quarterback, but a guy that's very mobile enough that can get you through some games and things of that nature. So I think y'all are very, very, to be honest, very, very lucky to have him on y'all's team, because I feel like he is a guy, if Carson Wentz does go down, he's a guy that trust me, you're going to love to have this guy on your team. Because
you hear that, Harish? He said when Wentz goes down. He didn't say if, he said when.
I said if.
I already know I'm going to love
I don't wish no injury. I don't wish no injuries on anybody. But if he goes down, I promise you, Sam is a guy that the fans are going to love. Because when I tell you, University, and we used to say this, he never won a Big 12 championship. He has no accolades or anything from Texas, but they still put him on the pedestal with Colt McCoy and Vince Young. And we're like, why? Why?
You got to think about, Michael, man. We went through so many tough times, the Garrett Gilbert years. We went through the Justin, the Hurd years. It was rough. And when Sam came in during that USC game his freshman year and won us that game, you give the fan base hope.
Yes, I get that. And that's what I said. It's like you give him because you knew he was willing to do anything.
Anything. Yep.
You realize, and he would take all the blame. He has no problem. That blame, I lost that game. You're like, dude, he just took it away from the whole team. The whole team sucked, and he just said, it's on me. I got to prepare the rest of the team to be ready to play. And that's just his mindset.
Did he take that playbook out of Bill O'Brien's playbook?
I don't know where he took it, but when I tell you, it doesn't matter. If he played for Tennessee, if he played for the Houston Texans, whatever, it doesn't matter where he goes. The fans are going to love him because he's just that type.
Just a likable guy, yeah.
He's just he's the teammate. His teammates are going to love him. Everybody's going to love him just because he's a guy that'll do whatever it is to win for the team. He does not care. Does not care.
Well,
I agree. But to finish my question, how does it feel to still see the talent coming into the NFL and finding some success? And does that make you think that coaching and developing is the problem at Texas?
Dude, it sucks because I gotta watch this stuff every week. What you mean? I gotta cover.
I watch it with you, man.
Hey, that's how it feels to be a Jaguars fan, by the way.
Literally, I gotta watch this on Longhorn Network 24/7. I gotta do a 2-hour pregame show, and I gotta watch the whole game and talk about it. You think it makes me feel better that they go to the lead and do something better? No.
It sucks, man.
It's like for instance, I see Deshaun Elliott, who was up for the Thorpe Award and didn't win it, right? And then he goes to Baltimore, and Earl Thomas, gets the boot, and he's in the game, and all of a sudden it's like
it's the greatest thing you've ever seen.
I see a player, I see this player that I'm like, ooh, this dude got drafted in the This guy's pretty good. You're like, damn. You see a Quandre Diggs, and it's like he's playing with Detroit, he's a nickel, and then all of a sudden he moves to safety, and then now he's in Seattle, and you're like, this dude is running the alley and putting people night-night.
Put people night night.
And then you see a guy, Chris Boyd, like we got an inside joke. Like we say, you invite him to the party. Like you. So and you see a guy like Chris Boyd, who, if you remember, if you're a Texas fan, he gets suspended for the whole first half versus the Oklahoma State, and then next thing you know, this dude is starting for the Minnesota Vikings. Like we were like it really pisses you off because you're like,
It does.
why is there so much talent that's able to go to the next level
and not being
look
produced.
great?
And not doing shit here.
But
It
when
takes
Oh,
graduating.
It's that
It's so
incentive.
bad.
It's that incentive contract. That's what does
Another
it.
guy that
damn, they got this
Yeah.
whole NIL thing going on. I hope it boosted up a little bit of something.
hopefully.
But right now, it's like that stuff is frustrating. Like you're
Yeah.
like, how do you got so much talent
and you still suck.
and you suck? Like we legit, like literally, like we, like they're
So
like,
bad, man.
like we get Sarkisian, great guy, I love him, but it's like, all right, Sarkisian, you know, you had like 25 first rounders, even though there's only like 32 first round picks, but you had 25 first rounders on your team in Alabama. What are you gonna do with these guys on this team that is probably like not one first rounder over here, but somebody's gonna get drafted on this team and go to the league and gonna look great. You're gonna try to
Yeah.
figure this out. Like, what's going on? Like, you don't know what's going on. So yes, it's very frustrating. Like, I'm proud that they get to have the opportunity to go to the next level and they do great things. But for 4 years at Texas, and I gotta talk about it, it's just like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like,
We'll find out Saturday. I'll be there. I'll be there bright and early in the morning. So
oh,
we'll
you
see
going
what
to the
happens.
game Saturday?
I live in Austin, baby. I'll be here. I bought my
Hey,
ticket.
hope
I'm
and
ready to
pray-
go.
I hope it. I live in Austin. I hope and pray they don't lose this first game. I hope and pray this doesn't.
Wouldn't that be the biggest catastrophe? Oh
Would it be?
Jesus!
Like I'm
We
the
would
type
be
of person.
fucked.
I'm the type of person because like right now you hear that little ice and everything. I'm the type of person that like dreams for like some just chaotic stuff because it's like awesome. It's like last year they lost to Iowa State. I was like, this is awesome. Like this, or when like Keontae Ingram fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line, they lost to TCU.
Ah,
It was like, I can't wait to see how this goes. Like, this is so funny to me. Like, there's no way at TCU you should go like toe to toe with TCU. But then you go back and look at the record books, and it's like, oh, I get it. Out of the last 9 times y'all played TCU, y'all only beat them twice. Okay, cool. Like, y'all gonna lose again this year. Like, cool.
Well, you know what? That's actually a really good segue. You know, speaking of teams that make you drink, Justin Gonzalez.
Hello.
How you doing, Justin?
How did the Jaguars
good.
preseason game go today? Because that team definitely makes people drink.
You know, we talked about it. What was it, Monday or Tuesday? That you draft a guy to be the guy, and then you give me 50% of the snaps with the ones in camp. But then you trade Gardner Minshew, right? And then he gets a couple of days, with the ones, and he comes out looking awesome. Yes, it was against the 2s and the 3s with the Cowboys, but overall, I'm impressed. He looked. He, as in Trevor Lawrence, looked sharp. The
Isn't
2
the
touchdowns.
Cowboys ones don't the Cowboys ones look like everybody else's 2s or am I?
We wouldn't know. The Jaguars didn't play them even.
Yeah.
Maybe their 2s are better than their 1s.
You know, I like Trevor Lawrence. I like him. I like him. I think I like him. It just
but
Go ahead, get it out.
Come on.
the organization.
No holds barred. Let's do it.
It's that
'Cause-
type of podcast.
this is the thing, and this is what I always say about a lot of quarterbacks that come out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the quarterback or is it the people that's around him?
Well, I mean, he's not gonna
Alright,
have
give me-
ETN around him anymore.
No. Yeah, true. Give me a good example.
I'll give you a good example. Like,
Yeah.
okay, for instance, right?
Yeah.
You look at Tua, right?
Yeah,
Name every goddamn receiver that was around him.
that is true. And he has one of them on his roster right now.
And then you
Jalen
go
Walker.
back, and then you
Jalen
go
Waddle.
back and you're like,
Tim Tebow.
yes, go go through it, and you're like, damn, is he really that good, or was it
Johnny
just
Football, Johnny Manziel.
He didn't have no receivers though. Johnny Football.
He had
Johnny-
Mike Evans.
He had Mike
Yeah,
Evans.
yeah.
Yeah,
where
you
you
at,
at,
boss?
Mike
Yeah,
Evans.
I told you that Mike Evans wasn't Texas.
Literally, just throw it.
Yeah, I forgot he had Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Just throw it. What do you think everybody do with Mike Evans right now? Hey, just throw it.
Throw it. I'll go get it.
Jameis Winston has had his best statistics. Just throwing it.
Well, that's what Tom Brady. Tom Brady threw a lot of picks. Like,
James
a lot of
Winston's
balls,
also
like,
had his
why is
worst
that pick?
statistics
Oh,
just
because
thrown
Mike
it,
Evans.
too.
Yes, he throws 5 picks and he throws for 500 yards. But he threw it to Mike Evans. It was simple.
Right.
I mean, let's be
I'm
honest.
gonna get picked off, but damn it, we're gonna get a few completions.
Well, we
Mike
talked
Evans
about
is
that.
touching this ball, damn it.
We talked about that on the last pod. Maybe it was
hit
the
the
last
ground.
podcast. Maybe it was the last podcast, but at some point, that's kind of like what the ETN pickup was to kind of make him feel comfortable and who was around him. But yeah, I think. Go ahead, Justin. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I do think there's a level of, or we could say systematic. You can call it whatever you want to in college, where guys are always going to excel just because of the competition they're playing around or whatever. But I think we can all agree that there is a certain level of play that fits in the NFL, and if those guys can accomplish it against other college teams of the same caliber in like the ACC, the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, which those teams, in my opinion, I'm not a player, okay, I'm a fan, but
You do it. Don't you do it.
outside looking in, those programs are not, your FAU or your, whatever.
North Dakota
State University, sure. And those teams, like the people they're pumping out now, I mean, you look at Alabama, you look at Clemson, you look at these teams that they're pumping out, like you said, the first round picks that, some of these teams that are in these leagues are close to, I won't say NFL ready, but they have talent to that caliber.
Listen, now when you say, okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah, hit me.
To say this.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks out of SEC has really panned out?
Well, I mean, not many. I mean, not.
That's the question. No, you just
Tim Tebow, because
is Joe Burrow gonna pan out, Michael?
Is Joe Burrow gonna check? I think Joe Burrow Joe Burrow had to actually find an opportunity to get on the field.
Yeah.
No, listen, Tim
hold on
Tebow.
now.
Tim Tebow was a
Hold
quarterback.
on.
Then he played in MLB
Wait a minute.
and came
Time
back as
out.
a tight end.
Time
That's
out. Time
elite.
out.
Listen, let's get this right. Joe Burrow had to find an opportunity to get on the field.
Hold on now. I mean,
By
he was,
transferring.
Did he find
Okay.
an opportunity to get on the field? Did he have to find an opportunity to get on the
yeah,
field?
he had to
He
go
was
to
at Ohio
another
State,
place,
yeah.
but he didn't go to like South Florida International.
He's
He
in
went to
That's
LSU. He
LSU.
went to
He
a
went-
team that
he
pumps
went-
out
he went-
first round
he went-
picks like
he went-
crazy.
Yes, you're 100% right. And he played on the team with how many first round receivers? Keep it going. And he
Every
went,
year.
and he went,
I-
and he went, wait.
Go ahead.
And let's do this.
Yeah.
And he went toe to toe with who? Go ahead.
Trevor Lawrence.
No, he went toe to toe with who? Against Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah.
Sam Ehlinger.
But okay, but
All right.
He went toe to toe.
I know he got
so-
hurt, but before he got hurt, would you say he was still looking like a first round pick from the SEC that's going to pan out, or a quarterback from the SEC that's going to pan out? He looked good in Cincy.
Well,
Before he got hurt.
has-
It's just
So-
that
Wasn't that what you're saying? Is that the SEC isn't pumping out great quarterbacks? And I was like, Joe Burrow, I think.
Okay,
he's
so
gonna be a
that's
great
one,
quarterback.
though.
I mean,
Oh,
listen.
come on, guys.
When I say this to say,
all right.
the jury is still out. I mean, yes, he did great. He did good last year. He did, but the jury's still out. Like, we're not gonna
Right.
act like he just like he's on like. I mean, you gonna take Joe Burrow? You taking Andrew Luck? Let's be honest right now.
Woo, I'm taking
Well, right
Andrew
now,
Luck.
I'm taking Joe Burrow because he wants to play.
Yeah, I'm taking him.
Who? Okay, when Andrew Luck wanted to play,
Yeah, obviously.
who you taking?
When Andrew Luck beats
well-
you every year, twice
but-
a year guaranteed, I'm taking Andrew
No,
Luck.
real talk. Who you want to take? Andrew Luck.
There you
You
go.
taking Andrew Luck or Joe
Yeah.
Burrow? Tell the truth.
Well,
Andrew Luck.
Well, Andrew Luck had like a
Justin
lot of
Tuck.
hype going to him more
But
than
we're
like
not-
anybody
but
had for
literally, we're not-
in
we're-
a long time.
But we're not over here acting like, oh my God, he, like I get it. His argument was SEC is pumping out guys that are ready.
Whoa, no.
Wait a minute.
Hold
That's
on.
not my point. My, and I said ACC too. My point was, and I'm not this SEC versus
ACC,
other
name the guys at
conferences
ACC then.
prima donna. What I am saying is just the systematic type of quarterback, someone like a Kellen Mond. Okay, great example, right? He fits in a system at Mississippi State that went really well. All right, is that going to transition that type of play in the NFL? I don't know. Okay,
I think Kyler Murray did.
well, it's yet to be seen. I mean, how many playoff games have they went to? with him under center?
Kyler Murray, the same coach that he played with in college.
No, he didn't.
So,
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Kyler Murray was under
At
Lincoln
OU.
Riley.
Yeah.
He didn't even
OU.
know you. What's his name
No.
came from Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Patrick Mahomes' coach, right?
That's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So my point is taking a guy that's in a system that transitions well, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, to the NFL, which I think is great. That, hey, I do think Trevor Lawrence can be a guy that is successful at the next level. Can Joe Burrow do that as well? Yeah, I 100% agree too. And it's not because they're from the SEC, because Joe Burrow is on an SEC product. He spent 3 years at Ohio State, then transferred to LSU and got behind a pretty good young offensive coordinator, but a young offensive-minded scheme down there. And, he got drafted and he was successful. All I'm saying is that yes, the Johnny Manziels of the world that are systematic quarterbacks, that when the play breaks down and they have a prolific receiver to throw the ball up to and catch it, isn't going to transfer well in the NFL. Does it make Trevor Lawrence's case that he had like a T. Higgins and he had these other receivers, running backs? Yes, it did elevate his play, but I think his talent in itself transitions well to the NFL versus someone like a systematic quarterback.
I think Joe Burrow will play for. I really think he will play for a long time. I'm not going to knock him. I think he will play for a long time in the NFL.
And let's be honest, we really can't judge Johnny Manziel's play in the NFL because of the drugs.
I think that quarterback that just came out of Alabama this year is the best quarterback they have had.
Mac Jones.
Pro stop.
yeah.
Who?
Pro
Mac
stop.
Jones.
Mac Jones? Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's the best quarterback.
Does
that
he
they
beat out
have.
Cam?
Huh?
Does he beat out Cam right now? Do you
I think they should sit him a year.
Start him.
I think if things get ugly, he comes in. But I don't think he's going to start. I don't think he's going to start the season off. I think if things get ugly, we're going to have to start preparing for next year because we just dumped all this money into all these weapons. And we're going to have to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and move on. But I think he is actually the best quarterback out of all the quarterbacks that have came out of Alabama. I think he is the best quarterback that they have produced ever.
Just Alabama.
In a long time. Like, all these guys, Tua and everybody else, I was never sold on them.
Yeah.
But
The one thing you gotta think about Trevor Lawrence is he spent 3 years at Clemson behind an offensive line that was basically a brick wall, right? He's got to go into a situation, and that plays into that.
What I would say this: when you watch him as a freshman, he showed a lot of potential, a lot. Yeah. And so, to his defense, yes, I think he's capable of being a good quarterback. The sky's the limit for him. I also think when you look at Joe Burrow, I think the sky's the limit for him. But a lot of times people get the miscue of like just because you're in the SEC, you're ready. And I just hate that aspect of like this is the best division.
Hold on, that was never my point.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying you hear it so much.
Yeah.
This is the best division.
Yeah, aren't you a Seminoles fan, Justin?
You hear it and you're
no.
like, why? Because you got Alabama or because you got Georgia or because you got Florida? But then it's weird because you're like, Texas beat Georgia. Well, they didn't really want to play. What do you mean?
No.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
My only point was the SEC pumps out talent that is NFL. I won't say ready, but draft capital wise.
We say that SEC pumps out talent.
Yeah.
Problem is, but the talent is coming from all over, right?
Well, I'm not saying it's steady. I'm talking about the teams that they come from and the program they're in. Not. I don't care about geographic location.
But really, you're only talking about what, 2 or 3 teams in the SEC?
I'd probably say 4.
Okay, and the SEC is made of what, 12?
Well, you might be. You might be in the SEC here pretty soon. So.
Right.
We will be 14.
Huh?
There's 14 teams.
14. So the talent comes from what? Alabama and LSU.
Okay.
Some Georgia.
Then you get Florida, and you got Georgia.
Some sprinkles.
And some South Carolina sprinkled in there as well.
South
We got-
Carolina is DBs only.
Oh yeah.
And one receiver
Javon-
right there. One
Javon
receiver.
Kinlaw, pretty good too. But hey, I digress. I'll say this:
But we have gotten really
quarter-
off task.
Yeah, I know. This is my last point, and I'll move on. Is that the best quarterback the SEC's produced in the last 20 years was Matt Stafford? Okay, and that's hands down. That's the only one.
What did you say?
Matt Stafford is what he
that
said.
the best quarterback the SEC has produced in the last 20 years is Matt Stafford.
That's actually.
That's correct. I mean,
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
Well, you know,
I'm not-
Well,
I'm
20
trying to
years
think.
ago was, let's see, Eli was within 20 years.
Well, I mean Peyton, yes, but I'm talking about
But that
like,
wasn't 20 years ago. That was within 20
That was
years.
just outside.
Like
See, we're
Eli,
moving
yeah.
goalposts.
Right.
I said
Moving
Eli
goalposts.
won 2 Super Bowls.
right.
Oh.
But anyways,
But it was
to
Eli.
recap the Jaguars, and this is the last thing I'll say, is that I was happy with the play of Trevor Lawrence. James Robinson is my boy. ETN being out sucks. I get it. O-line.
feel bad for him.
Yeah, O-line. You know, we had a big hitters out like Linder, Norwell. Cam Robinson did not start, but the O-line looked well against the 2s and the 3s of Cowboys. And lastly, the defense. Clavon Chason, my man, and CJ Henderson, I think, submitted himself as the number 2 and taking Sidney Jones out as the number 2 corner, and he will start. And I'm looking forward to it getting Josh Allen back because him, and also this is the last one, Devon Hamilton is an animal inside. So I'm really happy where the defense is trending, but I think start week 1, the offense is going to be about 2 steps ahead of the defense, and it's going to take about week 4 before we see the defense take hold and where they're going to be.
I just
Well,
need to give
if
credit to my
Wingard makes
comment
the
before.
53-man roster, I am no
Hey,
longer going to be a Jaguars
can I-
fan. So,
Sure.
Can I
So-
add? Can I
Yeah.
add? Just want to piggyback what you said earlier, Justin.
Sure. Yeah, hit me.
Matthew Stafford's from Texas.
Everybody's down in Texas, baby.
Hey,
Woo!
I was trying. So what I was trying to do is to softball it up for you. That way we could go full circle, and then and then we can hit the
That's
Texans.
so you know.
all right, yes,
no, I-
hey,
It was an elaborate segue. It was an
Andrew
elaborate
Luck- Andrew
segue.
Luck- Hey, and Andrew Luck is from
there.
Texas too.
He's also
okay,
from
you know what?
Texas.
No, there was a few segues in that, okay?
Mhm.
Matthew Stafford's from Texas.
Yeah.
Quarterback's from Clemson. If the shit hits the fan, we need backup.
Clemson quarterbacks.
Hey, FYI.
If the shit hits the
FYI,
fan, we
no-
need backup.
Hey,
That's
you
all.
Do this right now. Westlake quarterback. Westlake starting quarterback, which is the same school that Nick
Sam
Foles
went to,
and
and Nick
Griffin
Foles.
went to. Westlake's quarterback is actually committed to Clemson also.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, there's 3 things that all of those have in common.
I can think
Right.
of a Clemson quarterback. as
John. Shh.
For real.
God. There's 3 things that those all have in common. Okay.
Yeah.
Stafford's from Texas. If the shit hits the fan, we need a backup. And Clemson, and that's Deshaun Watson in the Houston Texans. Okay.
Oh God.
Bam, bam, bam.
Boom, boom, boom.
Matt, you got a good rape story for us this week?
Whoa.
Damn.
Damn, Sam.
I'm just kidding. I think he's innocent. Go on.
Jeez.
Matt or
Holy shit.
I mean, it's the same story. Is he going to get traded? Is he not going to get traded? Sources say they are. Sources say he's not.
He'd be in Miami taking over another Alabama quarterback.
I think so too. Sadly, I think the Alabama quarterback is going to be on this roster, and I really don't want him.
Sorry.
I really don't want him.
What
Is
is
Houston
the
gonna get what they're
rumors?
asking
It's like
for
three first
3
rounds.
first, 2 seconds, and Tua. I don't want it. I don't want Tua.
You don't
Well, you're
want-
not Nick Casario,
you
so it
don't-
doesn't
you
matter.
don't- You don't want
Well, it
it.
doesn't mean I still don't want it. I mean,
you
you don't
won't
want
take
him to
that
trade
draft
either,
capital?
You don't want it, but you're gonna get it. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, I know, but I rather have Tyrod Taylor start over Tua. I trust him more.
Man, I like Tyrod. I hate what happened to him last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
terrible. I don't
It's
think
kinda messed
anybody's
up.
happy.
He
Like,
has
everybody
such-
hates that.
Stuck him with a needle in his lungs. Can't breathe.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, the worst. He has such high potential ever since that 2015 year with the Bills when it took him to playoffs, but just kept getting hurt.
Dude, let me tell you what we did to him. Everybody knows Tyrod Taylor's like athletic, can run. Our coach, D coordinator, Lord have mercy, calls 2-man. I'm playing safety, so of course playing 2-man. Everybody underneath is chasing their receivers deep on 3rd and long. I'm the safety. I'm like, Coach, this is the dumbest call. You got 5 people with their backs turned chasing the receivers, and you got us playing deep. Tyrod takes off running. I'm screaming to the DBs and the linebackers, turn around. He's running. He gets a first down on 3rd and 23. He just runs.
Sounds like the 2020 Titans defense.
Coach, can you stop calling the stupidest call? So the last time we did it, I checked out of it. Coach was like, why did you check out of it? Because did you not see what happened last time?
Because it was the right thing to do.
Checking out. No. Check. Hey, cover 3, guys. Look at him. No.
So, Matt, I actually have an update for you that just came out 1 minute ago about Deshaun Watson while we've been on this podcast.
Breaking news.
They reportedly balked at the high price for Deshaun Watson. They don't like how
Yes.
much he's going to cost. They're looking,
I don't think anybody should like how much that's going to cost.
yeah,
Blizzard report already they said that
The
yesterday.
Dolphins.
10.54 million.
I mean, yeah. You don't know if he's starting.
And
You know,
this
you don't know
isn't
what's-
this isn't from a rumor mill either. This is from Yahoo. So
Right,
it's
well,
getting more and
yeah.
more real every
What?
day.
Okay.
That's
So
the
how do you
report.
guys move on though? Like how did preseason look? If Watson doesn't play, how do you guys move on?
Look, I've been saying for however long, he's not going to play a down for the Texans. He said it. He's not going to play another down for the Texans.
Yeah, he wants
So
out
you-
too.
Right. Like I said, I've just been saying this.
Yeah.
So Tyrod Taylor is your go-to guy until he gets hurt or doesn't produce. He looked good. The running game actually looked real good. David Johnson had 7.3 yards per carry. Again, it's against 3s and 4s, but I mean it's happy to see. The thing I'm excited about is this Tampa defense, man. They're Charles Menu, you and Harice's guy.
Hey,
Had 2 sacks.
from where?
yesterday. I mean, had 2 sacks. Dude, the attacking the quarterback is gonna be great. I think Lonnie Johnson is gonna be an underrated safety. I think he's gonna have a big year this year, especially in that Tampa defense. So,
Hey, answer this question. Why did y'all have Justin Reed kicking?
Fairbairn's got hurt.
Oh,
Yeah, Fairbairn's hurt. So I don't know if he's coming back or not.
that's
They
my
haven't-
fantasy. That's always my fantasy kicker. Damn.
Mine too. You know, he's.
All right.
Yeah,
so let me
Hey,
get
Sam
this-
Ficken looks good.
he got.
I will say this though. That was an impressive kick by Reed.
Wasn't it? That's what I'm saying.
That's some strong hamstrings right there.
I never knew this, but he actually kicked it in high school and college. So that's yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Hey, just so you know he was coached by the best, right? In college. He was coached by my defensive back coach too. So we will add him to the DBU, Justin Reed. We will add him to the real DBU. We will add him.
Sir,
I think Justin Reed and Lon Johnson are going to be the two top safeties in the division. They're really good. And then there's Lovie Smith.
You add a little too much now to it. Top safety.
hold
I
on
mean,
now. There's a lot of
this
talent in
Lovie-
our division.
Pump the
Actually,
brakes.
at
Was
safety.
they gonna get a lot of action though. But I don't know the top. They gonna get a lot of action though.
what was Lovie Smith known for? Taking the ball away.
He is definitely known from that Tampa 2, and he's definitely known. His safeties are definitely great in that defense.
Lovie Smith knows how to coach a defense.
Right. So I mean,
Like nobody did.
that's the only thing I can look up to. Michael, don't take that from me, man. I have nothing but trash to look forward to. You know.
I'm just mad. I'm looking at your background. The strength coach is
Hey, that's how Bill O'Brien makes me feel. I feel like crying Michael Jordan.
Man,
Straight away.
Bill O'Brien ended y'all before he got out. I don't know
Dude,
why.
for real. Like the Joker meme where he lights the hospital on fire and walks away.
Bill O'Brien reminds me of my man Denzel Washington in Training Day. Like,
Oh shit!
Straight up.
King Kong.
Oh no.
like y'all ain't. Let me trade y'all's best player out of here.
See what happened?
Hold on a second.
Nothing.
Michael, the true story is him and Chip Kelly are at a party, and Chip Kelly says, "Man, I'm the worst GM ever in sports history."
He said,
And
"Watch
Bill O'Brien
this."
said, "Hold my beer," and made that trade the next
Well,
day.
yeah, and then he called Doug Marone up on the phone and said, "Hey, we're best friends. Do you want to make your team shitty like mine?" He said, "Sure,"
No,
because that's exactly what happened.
Literally,
Because they are best friends.
Why he was like upset because my man had all his baby moms and everything else. I don't get it. Like,
You know, can I tell you something? The entire time you were talking about, I felt insensitive, so I didn't say it. When you were telling the story about having to fly every Friday to go to court, I was like, damn, I wonder about DeAndre Hopkins. And how many times in my head I was thinking, I wonder if he ever had to fly to court, because that would be a lot of flying.
nah, listen, he might be all right. He killed more bees. He got more money than that guy. So he probably had a private jet or something. He put all the kids in one plane.
Right. Well, I can answer why that, because he had a stupid assistant GM and Jack Easterby, and he's a choir boy. Yeah, he was still there for I don't know why, but Michael, my question to you, I got a story behind it.
Yeah, we'll get this last question and then we'll wrap it up.
November 28th, 2010, playing the Texans, down 20-10. Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan, go to blows. Tell me, man, how was it? How was it on the field, bro? You got. I mean, I know Cortland's your man, but come on, man, tell us the story, bro. How was it?
Man, real talk. This is a story, no BS. If I'm lying, I'm lying. Listen. So we in the middle of this game, right? And Cortland, if you know him, you know him. And so the game, they kept they do the extracurricular stuff. So early in the game, Andre do a reverse. Cortland get a good hit on Andre. Good hit. I'm like, Cortland, you ain't even supposed to be there over there. Why did you go up from one side of the field to the other go make this hit? Great tackle, right? So another play happens. Andre kind of does a little extra on Cortland. I don't know. Next thing I know, Cortland gets, if you watch the play, I'm telling you, if I'm lying, I'm flying. He does this stance like a sprinter stance. He looks at me and he winks. And I'm like, what the hell is he about to do? So y'all run the ball to the left. I go over there, whatever. I look, I hear the crowd getting loud. I'm like, why is the crowd getting loud? I look to the right. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? These dudes is going at it. So I go over there. At the time, y'all had Casey Stutter, former teammate of mine.
Welcome, Horns.
Frank Ocam, another former teammate of mine, who's actually a D-line coach for the Carolina Panthers. I go over there. I'm trying to break it up. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. I just like everything. They grabbing a, hey, Griff, chill out. It's just hilarious. Like, if anybody looks at the YouTube, they can see it. It's just like, this can't be real. This literally can't be real. It was just funny. Because it's like, if you know Andre, you know that, like, he is the quietest dude ever. He just plays football. And afterwards, he'll, like, shake your hand, slap you on the butt, tell you good job, whatever it is. And it was weird because we actually went to they had the NBA All-Stars in Houston. And he was like, I was thinking like, dude, don't like no Tennessee Titan player, especially all this happened. And he was like, Griff, what's up? I'm like, oh, what's up? Like, you know me? He's like, bro, you ain't gonna holler at me? I'm like, bro, I just thought whatever you and Cortland got going on,
Thought it would still be.
you felt like everybody's a part of this. He's like, nah, bro, like literally, I just can't stand him. He's just so irritated. Like, honest, truthfully, no BS. If you know Cortland is like the most genuine guy that you will ever meet. Like, he's one of those guys that would do anything and everything for you. Very involved in the community. He's just that guy.
But when it comes down to game, it's time to game.
They just didn't mesh.
Like, the way he plays a game, his game plan is, I'm going to figure out whose skin I can get underneath, and I'm going to do it all game.
Oh man.
See, that's the thing. Everyone always talks about how he got punched or what all that stuff. I think that Cortland Finnegan successfully got inside Andre Johnson's head,
Yeah, he
and that's a
did what he wanted to
victory for Cortland
Well,
Finnegan.
that was the Jalen Ramsey AJ Green fight because that was out of character for AJ Green.
Oh, no, the best.
Pushes him like
But you know what? The best fight that ever, I'm going to tell you, the best fight in the league ever may be a Khalid Talib versus Michael Crabtree.
Oh,
Oh, with the
Oh.
chain grabbing.
that
Yeah.
was some hate.
Like, that there, you rip somebody's chain off, and like that there is like on a whole nother level. Like, like you really ripped somebody's chain off.
Well, who was it last year? Was it Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey had some blood feuds?
Yeah,
going
you know
on or
why-
something?
you know why, right?
It's like some baby mamas going on something.
No,
Because,
it's not-
no, Jalen Ramsey has a child with Golden Tate's sister.
That's what it is. I was like, there's
Yeah.
something going on there.
He has 2 kids with.
Oh yeah,
Golden Tate.
2 now, yeah, 2, and then still left her when he went to LA for a stripper, and then talked shit to Golden Tate all the time. Dude, I beat his ass too. Fuck that guy.
Nah, man, you can't listen. At the end of the day,
Yes, I can.
No, listen, listen. I got daughters, and I tell my daughters all the time, listen, at the end of the day, like, if you're going to get involved with, because, okay, piggyback that. Golden Tate supposedly is the reason why Russell Wilson left his wife, because supposedly he was messing with his wife, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Damn, Golden found his way around.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, like, you had
But that's his sister. Come on.
you had a kid, yeah, but you doing the same crazy.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
Supposedly. So at the end of the day, it's like, yo, listen. To me, I'm like, yo, if that's what you gonna get involved with, you gotta figure that out. I ain't got time. Ain't no point in getting all the middle of that. You left my sister for this, that. Man, you can't force no relationship.
Yeah, but it's Jalen Ramsey. Come on.
Hey,
I'm bitter. Whatever.
Hey, her child support should be good. She should be okay.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Her child, she should be happy. Her child.
You should be rooting for Jalen Ramsey because that kid's gonna be taken care of.
Keep it going, baby. We ain't together. Keep it going, because I promise you, there's some women out there right now that got kids with some people that's gonna get cut today and tomorrow and the day after. And they child support's gonna go from looking okay to looking like nothing. Like, damn, he wasn't
First
no
times.
True.
It
Hey
happens.
Sam,
He's right again. God damn it, Michael.
You gotta pick the right one, not the wrong one. Not
I'm gonna need to see your 40-yard before we decide to have a child, please.
that 40-yard don't mean nothing.
I think that's what who's the Kardashian mom? I think she looks at the 40-yard dashes before she.
I don't do that. I gotta look at your 401k and I got.
Credit score.
You better look at what they filed for taxes last year. Don't.
Did you buy any stock in GME by chance?
I did not.
To the moon.
In 2008, like the market was down in Texas, and you know you live here.
I was down everywhere.
But you know, if you here in Texas right now, especially Austin, you know what things are going for. So in 2008, when the market was down, I literally bought a bunch of property, a bunch of rental properties and stuff like that. So right now, I'm just
You banking.
Sweet. You got any on Airbnb? Hook me up.
It's a good market now. Yeah.
Well, does anybody else have anything else to add before we log this thing off?
I
this
had
evening?
What
one.
are we talking off? I'm gonna just keep going.
Hey, we good. I don't care. Well, we can.
Hey,
You know, we
to
talk-
piggyback on my Andre Johnson story, does he make the Hall of Fame next year, or does he wait?
If he don't, God, Lord have mercy. I don't know why not.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
Sam, I know that like we had it's a Titan so thing, but we didn't really talk about the preseason game. Maybe DC could shed some light on that for the Titans preseason game.
Well, I don't really have much to say about it. I checked the game out yesterday while I was out. The Buffalo Wild Wings. You know,
Yum.
They a
Damn,
sponsor?
double whammy.
I was gonna say that again.
Not a
Where
sponsor.
you at, DC?
Good.
Where I'm at,
Yeah.
like currently located in Jersey.
Oh,
You never heard of Pluckers, Michael. Don't worry about it.
no, we got pluckers here. No pluckers.
I know.
Yeah,
That's all it's at. They don't know where it's at.
They don't know what pluckers is.
Griff, I became a Titans fan because, you know, Eddie George and Javon Curse are like my two favorite players. And Javon Curse, like, probably had the best rookie year defensive player ever had. So, you know, to me,
It's that for me.
There was some other news out of the Titans this week.
he had 14 and a half sacks.
My rookie year was that good, but I will say though, I mean, you got Bosa, you got the Bosa brother with San Fran.
He had 14 and a half sacks his rookie year.
You're right, but this.
You're
You
right.
gotta understand, I keep trying to explain to you, like social media wasn't is like it is now.
That's true.
Social media a little different right now. Like if you say that to people, this is the crazy part. I tell people this all the time. People be like, oh my, like my son, right? I got a 13-year-old son. He watches football. He loves football and everything else.
Who's his favorite team?
Oh, right now he's like an Odell Beckham / Jalen Ramsey fan. Like he loves it.
Ew.
Uh,
Beat him.
Yeah,
Beat
I
him.
know. I like that.
He's like a fan. He took a picture with him, and I'm like, son, like I'm not your favorite player. He's like, nah, dad, like you suck.
That's what kids do. They rebel against the parents.
Always rebel. Like daddy ain't shit. Like that's
That's what they do.
my daughter does the same thing. She
Especially
plays
when
like
they
travel soccer and shit. And like she's on like I think her team is ranked. Last time they was ranked number 13 in the country, and
Wow.
she's like, and I'm trying to explain to her like, yeah, dad used to play soccer too when he was younger, and I show her how to kick and shit. She's like, dad, you ain't shit. Like, to my kids, daddy ain't shit. Like you ain't shit.
They'll come back.
No, listen, dad ain't shit to this.
Not right now, but they'll come back.
Like, listen, I hope this ain't on Facebook and we get on Facebook jail. But like, daddy ain't shit to this.
Oh no, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
Not at all. So, literally, so dad ain't shit. And so, like, they play football and it's like, dad ain't shit. You know what you talking about? Jalen Ramsey do it like this. I'm like, nah, son, listen. He's like, nah, listen, dad, you ain't shit. You can't do it like Jalen Ramsey. All right, cool. So, to say that, to say that, like, literally, like, these kids these days, and you look at, like, what's all going on and everything, it's crazy. Like,
We need to get him a better role model, though. Come
It's
on.
a popcorn generation, man. You know, they just going with whatever they see.
what you mean a better, like, literally, what you mean a better generation? Like,
No, popcorn generation. Popcorn
I'm
generation.
talking about. I'm trying to figure out what Samantha's talking about. A better,
A
like,
better role model than Jalen Ramsey.
why?
What do you mean, why?
Because
He's
Jalen Ramsey did
salty,
what was good
Michael.
for him,
Dude, he's the
and
first.
she doesn't like it.
He's the first $100 million.
I don't like that lady, okay?
Listen,
She's salty.
he got a baby mama with like another player's sister, and he's $100 million. Like, what are you? What?
Listen, you want to know why I don't like Jalen Ramsey?
Why? Because he said we're gonna win the Super Bowl and it didn't happen.
And then he didn't do it, Michael Griffin.
Well, listen,
I literally, listen, I cried literal tears of joy.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was so cold outside. He said, we're going to go to the Super Bowl and we're going to win that bitch. And a single tear fell down my face. And then it didn't happen.
You should be happy that you actually had an opportunity to do that shit. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't
for
never
real.
had that opportunity. Like, the Titans came close when they, played the Chiefs, and I like. Is it bad that like the Titans are playing the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm at my like daughter's like flag football game, and I'm like, hey, come on, let's get this shit over with. Like, I gotta get
Sound like
It's
a
time to go.
normal
Go,
dad to
go,
me.
go and beat him real quick. Let's go home.
I'm like, come on, kid.
No, you want to know why I don't like Jalen Ramsey, and I don't know if his attitude has changed now that he's not in Jacksonville. I mean, I will say this: I forgave him more when he came out with the reason why, because for years he never said why he asked for that trade. And I've been a diehard fan my whole life. I've had season tickets since &96. So
So not your whole life.
You're like one of the people.
listen, they didn't get here till '95. I was 9 years old. Leave me alone, John Hahn.
So
So that it stung a little bit when he asked for that trade. And I respected him more when he came out and said why. But the reason why I have such an issue with him really is because of his attitude when he was here. Like, he was a lot more talkative on social media, once again, back then. And for example, he had written something, and somebody else that I know that's a season ticket holder was like, her son was also obsessed with him. And he was like, that was his role model. And so she wrote him and was like, hey, as a mom, you probably won't see this, but as a mom, I just want to let you know you have little boys looking up to you and you're putting this kind of stuff on social media. And he said, fuck off, bitch. And I was like, oh.
I think I remember you telling that story.
Yeah, I've heard this.
And I was just like, just don't say anything.
We don't believe it unless you show it.
I did see it. She showed me her DMs from Jalen Ramsey checkmark.
Are they still there?
It was on Instagram.
He was like, fuck off.
Yeah, she said the blue check.
Anyway,
Well, I will say this because I know him, and I know him since he was in high school.
Well, tell him that wasn't cool.
Okay.
That'll be the first thing on her.
But I go back to, and it's not an excuse, but I go back to say this. What's the first thing we start this whole thing off with? You give a 21, 22-year-old guy, young man, a lot of money. And at that moment in time, he may believe that he made it.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that he believed in his morals may go out the door until he actually finds himself.
Well, since you know him, you can also tell him this. My daughter was conceived the night of the Jaguars Baltimore Ravens game in London, and I named her London. So, and I had her gender reveal at the AFC Championship game, and I almost named her middle name Ramsey, but I'm glad I didn't now. So.
Is that the same night when you said your back was hurting too?
It's been hurting ever since. These damn kids.
Where's the husband at? Where's he at?
He's passed out. You don't want to listen to this garbage.
Oh, you don't want to listen to it?
No.
That's great.
That has been heard ever since.
But no, I almost made her middle name Ramsey. So.
But I agree with you, Michael. Though, but back when we were that young, you couldn't tell us what to do either. So I was 21, 22 when I got drafted, and I literally when I seen my bank account, it was like, what are you gonna tell me? Right. Well, not even with money. Like when I met my first ex-wife, everybody told me not to do it. I was like, well, I'm 21. I do what I want. I should have listened to people, like for real.
He said his first.
You gotta make
you should listen to him. You said it was your ex-wife.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I said. I should listen to people, but I was like, no, I do what I want.
You're right. I should listen to my son's mother. My son's mother. I should listen to everybody. I didn't do it.
But we were young, right? We were dumb and young.
I guess I'll never be at that level of finances where I just look at my bank account and go, oh my God, you can't tell me nothing. Except for maybe when I got my stimulus. Oh my God. Look at me.
You can't tell me shit.
I got all these kids. You can't tell me nothing.
I got a stimulus too. My wife don't know.
Oh. She didn't get one?
I was like, this is what y'all feel like? Oh, this is something I wasn't counting on.
Right, exactly.
This is awesome.
Cash it and go spend it.
That's to stimulate the economy. That's what we got to do. You know what I use mine for? I bought Trevor Lawrence a chopping block.
Tickets?
No, I bought Trevor Lawrence a chopping block, remember?
That's
From
right.
his wedding registry.
Huh?
Don't get her
She said-
started.
Why you buying stuff when you already got? He already got everything he needs.
Well,
'Cause
see,
she thinks,
okay, no.
She thinks it'll give her an in to talk
hold
to him
on,
somehow.
hold on. When you come
Hold
to
on.
Duval,
Samantha, let me ask you a question.
All right, go
Samantha,
ahead.
let me ask you a real loud question.
Can I tell you what the gift note said first?
No. Let me ask you this question.
No.
Real talk.
Okay.
And don't lie.
Don't laugh or lie.
Don't lie.
Don't lie.
Either.
Okay.
If you
Either.
had a chance with Trevor Lawrence, would you take that chance?
No.
Because he's a baby?
Yeah. And he looks like my son. My son's got blonde hair. And he's just so young and no. Mm-mm. No.
You, not lying. You'll use that little boy.
No. No.
That little boy.
Plus, I saw that video of that girl that looks just like him, and now I can't stop picturing it every time I see him.
Right.
Every time I see him, I think of that girl every time. Now, Gardner Minshew, stop. Let me stop.
Oh, you all in, huh?
That mullet gets it done. It lights your fire.
No, it was not the mullet.
Yeah, it was definitely the mullet.
The shotgun and the Gatorade is what got her.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So you gonna still follow his career? Or you gonna let it go?
No, I let it go. Just like I let Tim Tebow go when he was no longer on my team because I'm a Gator fan.
He's gonna look all right in Philly, I think, if he get an opportunity.
I mean, hey.
Is somebody explaining to me the Tim Tebow playing tight end?
No, I'm not talking about this time. I'm talking about I'm a Gator fan. The second he wasn't my quarterback anymore, I didn't care. Okay. I was like, whatever. He's not my quarterback. It is what it is. I thought it was ridiculous when they brought him. Actually, they announced that on the Rashad Jennings episode, and he was drafted, I think, the same draft class, right? Or was it the year before? And he was like, what? And I was like,
yeah.
Could you imagine going back right now? He's like, no.
Did the Jaguars organization really sell Tim Tebow jerseys? Did that really happen?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they sold a lot.
Of course they did.
I literally called that. I said they put Tim Tebow on the team. They're going to keep him on the team, and they're going to drop him after the first preseason game, and that's exactly what happened. And it's kind of like to close that, because you know how many Jaguars fans have been asking for that?
Do you think it's because of that block?
Millions off of that's great.
What did you say, Michael?
Do you think it was because of the block that he attempted?
Block? Oh, God.
I thought his shoelace was untied. He needed to tie it.
That was a block?
I don't know what it was. I thought he...
No, I think they wanted to just Justin can back me up on this one, but I think they just wanted to shut everybody up. It's like something that literally they won't shut up about, the Jaguars fans. And so they're like, Urban Meyer's here. Let's bring him on. Okay, no, he didn't work out. Because they gave him $0. His contract was like 900 and something thousand, and it was all incentive. He got $0 guaranteed.
Wow. So he paid like 5 G's or something like that.
Nah, he didn't get paid shit.
So Tebow didn't realize you're supposed to fake that injury to get that cash.
He honestly didn't learn anything. In the 10 years he's been gone.
Thou shall not lie.
He didn't learn nothing when he was with the Broncos and the Jets.
He didn't learn nothing.
Or
Yeah,
the
he
biggest
said, what would
fear there
Jesus
is Bill
do?
Belichick.
Yeah, what would Jesus do? Fake his injury?
And it's crazy that Griff brought that up because, like, when he had a chance to play tight end and change positions, he didn't want to do it then. He rather go play minor league baseball,
And how did that work out?
Yeah.
It got him a job at ESPN. He loved it.
averages was horrible, and it got him a job. It got him a job as ESPN at football college analyst.
He had that job before baseball. But...
He also hit a home run. Like, I was shocked to see that he could do that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he hit one.
he's big balling down there.
Michael, to answer your question, why did they sign Tebow? It was a pure move because of friendship between Urban and Tebow. We let Josh Oliver go, which sucks, which is a tight end now with the Ravens, who we drafted, who I thought could have potential. Watch him go to Baltimore and be great, and we signed a guy.
Y'all, honestly, y'all want a veteran leadership, y'all should have kept Mercedes Lewis.
Absolutely.
If y'all wanted a veteran leadership, y'all should have kept Mercedes.
We should have kept Keenan McCardell as receivers coach, too.
True.
I heard Shannon Sharp say this the other morning, right, when Tebow got released. Who the hell gonna listen to a third, fourth string tight end in the huddle? Ain't nobody listening to him. Ain't no motivator.
Listen, ESPN was like made a bold prediction that they were going to draft him or keep him on the roster anyway.
Why wouldn't they?
I think it was a business move to sell jerseys. That's it.
And it worked.
Printed money.
And Jacksonville's so stupid
Who
because
bought a Tebow jersey?
Literally everybody.
Oh boy.
every
You would be
dumbass
shocked.
Gator fan that we have in Jacksonville bought one. Dead ass. I swear to God.
What number was it?
85.
85.
And we had Sean Pendergast on the podcast from Houston. He's what does he do? Sports Radio 610.
So,
And I said, there's a
Tony
conspiracy.
Pendergast?
I feel like he took number 85 to honor Aaron Hernandez. And he was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. But of
Oh,
course,
shit. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's what he did. He wanted to be a tight end, 85 to honor Aaron Hernandez.
Why he didn't do that when he was playing baseball? Could have wore that shit.
He was
He
85
couldn't-
when he played
He
baseball.
was.
He couldn't think of
85.
any baseball murderers to honor.
He was 85 when he played baseball.
Wait a minute. Do we even know if Aaron Hernandez really did it or not?
We don't.
No, he did that shit. He did that shit.
We don't.
He did
Do
that.
we even know if he did it?
They were saying the same. They were saying the same thing about OJ, right?
Isn't suicide murder if you think about it?
It's suicide.
Because he got convicted. He got convicted.
We're going way too deep in this, okay? Damn you, John Hahn.
Listen, Aaron Hernandez was a great football player.
Yeah, he was.
wow.
No one's gonna argue that.
And that's another one I would have chased right there. Keep going.
Oh.
O.J. Simpson's a great football player too.
Both of them did that shit. Sorry about the French. They both did it.
Did Ray Lewis do it?
Yeah.
I ain't going down that
Oof,
road.
yeah.
Yeah, he did it.
I gotta pass on that one, boss.
Did Plaxico Burress
Next
shoot
question,
himself?
Mike. Next question.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just curious. I'm like, we over here, like everybody did something. I don't know. Did they all do it?
Right.
We
Oh,
we're
Guess
not-
we'll never know.
we're
Are
not-
you asking me as if I was there?
We're not here to judge nobody. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's up to the man himself to judge. I don't know if anybody's
Absolutely.
religious, but it's up to everybody else to judge. I don't know who did what, and control the controllables.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Control what I do.
Hey, Mike, real quick. I'm just going to ask a complete side question.
I just want to
what-
say, wait, Harish.
Oh,
Aaron,
yeah, go for it, DC. Go for it. Yeah. It's all you, bro.
You know what?
I'm just playing with you.
Okay.
If Aaron Hernandez was here today, he would be with Tampa Bay.
Probably.
Mhm.
No question. No question.
It'd probably be better than Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski.
DC, go for it.
I just wanted to say that Aaron Hernandez was a great football player, but he was heavily gang connected. That I know for a fact.
You think he was heavy gang connected?
He was heavily gang connected. Yeah, he was heavily gang connected.
It's hard for me to believe that type of stuff because how are you gonna be in a gang but you pay taxes?
Man, rappers do it right. The rappers.
Listen, if you're smart,
Hey. You
that's
pay
how
taxes-
you do it. Smart.
You pay taxes on what you get your paychecks for. But
Yeah,
if it's
that's
on,
how
you
you-
know the stuff that's under the table, you don't pay taxes on.
That's how you hide the game.
If you paying taxes and you heavily like you on national television every week, then it's kind of hard to be heavily gang connected because they're gonna catch up to you.
No way. That's the best hiding spot in the spotlight.
In the spotlight.
Didn't they catch up to him though?
We're
Nah.
caught up to him.
They
He
all
was
assumed. They all assumed because he had dice on his
stupid,
hands.
and nobody ever said he actually did anything.
I mean, I know. I'm kidding. Nobody really knows.
Was he ever convicted of anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was convicted of the double homicide, right?
Double
Yeah.
homicide and manslaughter. Yep.
But did they actually have I mean, I know they had the whole Netflix thing, but was anything like actually like concrete, or was this easy to say?
I'm gonna be honest. After I watched that, I felt really bad for him because that's the problem. Like somebody dies, they do a series on them, and it's just like, okay, let them die with honor. But then you got all these
That
people
whole
that used
Netflix
to play.
thing.
This
It was
American
sad.
Netflix thing felt all exploitive. It didn't. They
Mhm.
tried to make it sound like salacious, and none of it really.
Clout chasey.
This
Yeah.
America, why we do that? We love this America. Why we do that? We love the crazy, grimy,
The
slap.
drama.
Michael already said it. He loves it when shit goes into the fire. Like,
Oh,
that's his
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yo, your
But
life
there
sucks
was a-
right now. Oh, there's more shit.
And again, it's been a long time since I looked into Aaron Hernandez, but there was a lot of circumstantial evidence against Aaron Hernandez, wasn't there? Like,
The gang ties is one of them. The gang ties is
no, but like there was like a lot. Like, wasn't there something with his cell phone in the car and all that? Like, I can't remember everything, but
Yeah,
like,
I
there was a lot of stuff to implicate that he was there when the murders took place.
That don't mean he did it.
Yeah, he got somebody to do
could've
it
been an
for him because
apprentice.
he's a gangbanger.
Listen,
Just kidding.
I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, we've
I
That
would
was
say
really
that was
far off the
wasted
rails.
talent. That's
I
all
would
that
say
matters.
this, like from what I know and what I played against, hell of a football player.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Yep.
anyone's arguing.
I don't
that.
disagree with that. Yeah.
Like,
Nobody's
what-
disagreeing with that.
What you do, whatever you do on your own time is what you do. Whatever, don't know, rest in peace. He has a young daughter that will probably have to deal with a lot of stuff, and people say stuff or whatever. God rest and pray for her or whatever.
Well, that was, they say, the reason why he killed himself was to make sure she was set up, because if he was convicted
Yeah,
of that, there was a
something
second
with,
one. There was a second one.
Whatever it is, at the end of the day, he has a young one that didn't ask to be put in the situation. And so that being said, you know, from what I know, and I don't cast judgment on anybody, because we all got skeletons in the closet. So for me, hey, hell of a football player.
Yeah.
And that's all I ever say. I will only say what I know. And what I know is hell of a football player. And that's all I could ever say about him.
Yep. Well, lead us off tonight's episode with a positive note, because that was very depressing. I'm not signing us up on that. Give us something good you got going on. Tell us what you got going on.
Positive note right now is
Elijah Molden.
Samantha is looking for an opportunity with Trevor Lawrence.
Kill me. No.
If you're a Houston Texans fan, you are just on a what if, what's going to happen, I don't know, whatever, don't know. Jacksonville Jaguars fans, good luck. And Colts fans, good luck again, because y'all don't know who your quarterback is going to be for the whole season every week. And for the Tennessee Titans,
Elijah Molden.
Keep doing Elijah Molden, yes. Animal baller.
Michael, you were doing great up until like 10 seconds ago.
Oh,
I would never usually encourage this.
Be honest with you, we're gonna be on the same page next week when our Longhorns.
Hey.
So yes, whatever it
I'm
is.
going to come find you Saturday morning. Where are y'all setting up at?
Yeah. I'm South End Zone. Come up there. We'll be up there. Come. You going to?
Oh yeah. I'll be there. Section 3.
Section 3.
Section 3.
Good luck. Wear a mask. It's gonna be COVID in the building. But anyways.
And I'll come visit you right after it too.
Oh, don't do that shit. I'm trying to stay the hell away. Real talk. Hey, positive note, everybody, man. Just everybody stay safe. Hope this whole I hope this football season it gets through.
Yeah.
Is going on or whatever. I pray for injury free. I know you saw Dobbins got hurt today and whatnot for the Ravens.
Yeah.
That nature. But again, it's a blessing to be able to play this football game. It's a blessing to be able to be a fan of this game. It's a blessing to still be alive today, and each and every day is short. So with that being said, just live life. That's the main thing. Spread love, respect one another, and let's just keep the peace. That's the biggest thing when it comes to just positive words coming from myself.
Well, I would never normally encourage this, but I know that the group will probably want to hear it. Why don't you give the Titans fans a tighten up for them?
Oh, definitely. Tighten up. Always tighten up. I'm always rooting them on.
There you go.
I'm always recorded.
Tell our Titans commentators to come on the show.
Yeah.
It can't be me and DC all the time.
Come on, man. Like, literally, it was like a leap of faith. I seen it on my Twitter. Let me go ahead and jump on. I love talking or whatever, if y'all know.
Spread the love for those 08 teams.
Like, when I played, all I did was just say the right things at all times. Literally, if you ever watched my interviews, it was like, say the right things all the time. Like, there was so much stuff I wanted to say. My homeboy told me, he was like, dude, you were never yourself. I was like, dude, you can't be yourself. But like me, when I tell you that stress is off of me, just to be myself and just say what I want to say or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I bet that's a good feeling.
It's a hell of a feeling, because I tell you, it was like, hey, at all times, you got to be all about the business. Say the right things at the right time, all the time. That's why I say social media is a mother. Because
it is.
To see the players now that are vocal, like I wish I was more like the players were today, that are just vocal and that are themselves, compared to just being.
It's more encouraged, I think, now.
Yeah, you really see who people are and what they're all about and understand who they are. And I think you get
That's generational, too, I feel like.
True.
It feels like you guys would have gotten a lot more flack for speaking your mind than the guys today would.
Yeah.
It jumped on you quick. It was so much stuff I wanted to say, but it was like, hey, just say the right thing and keep it moving. And that was the biggest thing. But it was frustrating. It was stressful. But again, at the same time, you got to count your blessings, because a lot of people would love to be in the situation that I'm in. And so, it comes with the gift and the curse, but also always count your blessings. That's the biggest thing. Count your blessings all the time.
Yeah.
And hook him.
What'd you say, Harish?
And hook him. Let's
And-
go.
Oh yeah, gotta put that in there for you.
Let's end on a positive. Tighten up. Come on.
I just gave it to you. I just gave you the positive.
Well, Michael, once again, we thank you so much for coming on, and we hope you come on again soon during the regular season because I would love to do a follow-up to this episode.
Awesome.
Most definitely. Make sure it's after a win, not after a loss.
No promises.
Hopefully
Week
there's
3 is out of the
there's
question.
many of those this year, right, Michael?
The Ravens lost in the playoffs. That was my first appearance.
Whenever we play Jacksonville or whenever we play the whatever, I'm there.
Hey, we're actually having a fan battle meetup for the Jaguars game in Jacksonville. Titans and Jaguars fans. So
That sounds like somewhere I don't want to go in Jacksonville.
Hey, we're going to Nashville this year for Houston.
I might be more of a I might go to the Chiefs game.
I don't want to see us get slaughtered.
Are you serious? Why do you feel that way?
He's the pessimist of the group.
The Chief offense is so good. They're so good.
The last time they came to Nashville, what happened?
Well, yeah, we did, but the last time we went to Kansas City, what happened?
I mean, the last time, but the time before that, we won.
Yeah, the AFC Championship was like the only loss we have in like the last 6 matchups with them. I get it, but I don't know. They're good.
Don't be scared, man. Don't be scared.
Okay, okay. Here's the thing. Let me explain it to you. Okay, and this is the reason why they hate me so much.
Right now, you got me over here like go join Jacksonville or something.
No. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the way it is that I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst.
You hope for the best or for the worst. That means you're on both sides of the fence.
No, I just
he always is on both sides of the fence.
The thing is like when you're a really big football fan, a lot of times it's like when they win, it's just relief, and then when they lose, you're just pissed off. So it's like if I try to mitigate the pain a little bit.
I say that to say, what games do you think they will lose then? So I'm guessing you automatically the Chiefs. Go ahead.
The Chiefs worry me. I wish I had the schedule on top of my head.
Listen,
right
can I warn you about something?
Go ahead.
This is the most negative Titans commentator we have. So if it was up to him, he would probably say that they're going to lose all of them except the Jaguars games.
He went from my favorite to now.
Oh.
I'm trying to figure
Donnie's going to be so happy.
You should be like, yo, we're going to win everything. It's simple. We got it. We good to go.
I hope so, man.
Right now,
I got high hopes for us this year.
Right now, who you think we're gonna lose to?
I need the schedule. I wish I had the schedule in front of me right now. I
the
worry
Colts
about
at least once.
You know we play AFC.
We got with NFC West. I worry about the Rams. They're tough. That's a tough defense.
Why are you worried about the Rams? Everything they do is underneath routes. They don't go deep. What are you worried about?
Jalen Ramsey.
I worry about their pass rush. I worry about
pass rush. Who is their pass rush? Outside of Aaron Donald. Go ahead. And then outside line.
Fine. All right, fine. Talk me into it. Feed me into this. Give me all the wins. I love him.
You got Jalen Ramsey, but he's going to probably match up versus Julio. That's cool. But then who's going to match up against?
Okay.
Cardinals, Titans.
I like it.
Cardinals, Titans is a toss-up.
That's week 1.
You guys will beat
I like us.
You guys will beat the Seahawks.
Cardinals and Titans is not really a toss-up because
I like us there.
They don't have a run game. Kyler Murray's gonna run all day. He's good for at least 2 interceptions a game.
He can't really
pocket
like that.
Titans, Jaguars. That's a loss.
How about this? Okay, how about this? I want to wait on how I feel about the Chiefs game until I see how this defense looks.
What about the Bills?
It is a lot of an unknown. I love our offense. I love our offense, but this defense is such an unknown.
Yes, but we all had. Did you not watch the Super Bowl last year? The Chiefs ain't stopping shit.
They beefed up that offensive line.
Huh?
They beefed up their offensive line. Their offense is really good. So that's why, because I'm not worried about ours. I'm not worried about our offense. I'm worried about their offense.
Their offense is always good.
Yeah, and our defense was. I don't know what our defense is. What's our defense going to be?
Their defense is like Pfizer. This ain't stopping COVID.
I get that. What about our defense? What are we going to stop?
The defense is Pfizer.
We got to go to the end. We got to see who's going to come up with a turnover.
That's why I'm hoping. That's why Elijah Molden is giving me lots of love right now. I love Elijah Molden.
We know Tyreek has good 2 routes. He has a comeback and he has a go. So Elijah.
And I love what you're telling me though. You're giving me hope. I love it.
I'm just going off the fact, but they got rid of Sammy Watkins. So who's the other receiver on their squad?
Travis Kelce's always giving us trouble.
Travis Kelce give us credit. We know he's in the middle. Cool, but he ain't like he going deep on us or nothing.
Well,
We
we have to let
we're really long. We're going long. I get it.
We've gone on way too long. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a two-parter.
You like, God damn, because they got voted top 10 players of the league. You just like, oh my God. So
I worry, okay?
It's 17
Not
games.
me.
It hurts to lose. It hurts to lose. So sometimes if you prepare for it, it hurts less.
Even when we lose, it's Titans over everybody.
It does. It hurts.
You the guy with no faith. What the hell?
I'm hopeful.
I could just imagine when I was there. Shit.
Michael Griffin's getting beat over the top every time.
No.
Hey, hold on. Now.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you when we started?
That's what he would say.
Hang
That's
on.
what
What
he
did I
would say.
tell you when we
mean,
started? I said you were the bright spot of the dark times, my friend.
Well, listen, you talking fireworks. Michael Griffin beat over top. God damn.
No, I was saying that's what John would say. I know you can't get beat over the top. I know well enough. I've seen it plenty.
Later in my career, they moved me to strong safeties. That was some other body that shit pissed me off. But anyways, but yeah, hey man, have some damn faith. Sheesh.
I'm trying, my man. I'm trying.
You was depressed when we won like 3 games 1 year, 2 the next. Yeah, you was depressed for 2 years straight. 5 games. Five games out of 32.
Well, when you lose a lot of them, it goes numb after a while. But like when you have this last season was like we won 11 games, and I felt like because they were nail biters, it's hard.
Yeah.
I'd like to just win a game in a blowout. That's what I like. I want blowouts.
You feel that way? Can you imagine like being on a team you like trying to figure out who the hell the quarterback gonna be?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, that's a good segue to end the show because we don't need to talk about that. We can say that for another time, Michael. We have a quarterback. His name is Hudson. His name is Hudson. I got a quarterback.
Hey,
I was on the team. I was on the team when we drafted 3 first-round quarterbacks. That shit is depressing.
hey, you said you want to come back after a win. That sounds like we're gonna have plenty of opportunities to come back this year.
Hey, bring me back after Kansas City so I can sit there and just look
All
at
right.
you.
Oh, I'd love it.
Book
I
it.
want to be wrong.
Book it.
Okay, book it. We're gonna Harish write them on the DM on our Twitter account now. We're booking you the week after the Kansas City game.
Sam, your baby's still up.
No. Thank God she's asleep.
How old is your baby, Sam?
She's 3. Remember? Jaguars, Ravens?
I mean, London, perhaps.
I'm just saying she was conceived during that game, so she's 3.
That was you for sure.
Uh-huh. Her name's London for that reason.
She don't know.
Maybe not. Who knows?
She don't know. It was around the
I mean, good thing. I think the next week we played Houston. What was I going to name her? Houston? Or...
Minshew wasn't in the league
Huh?
yet, so
No, it was Bortles.
said Minshew wasn't in the league.
It was Bortles. I
So we're
named her
not,
the boat.
we're not bringing you on after week 3 because that's a guaranteed L, but we're bringing you on after Kansas City. I got you, bro. I'll DM you right now. I got you.
Hey, Kansas City, I'm here, so I can sit there and.
I hope so. I want to eat that plate of crow. Give it to me.
All right, guys. Well, we thank you for tuning in this evening. You can catch all the action live Sunday nights at 9:30. You can catch the episode on all major platforms Wednesday morning. Michael Griffin, thank you again for coming on. You can find him on Twitter at MikeGriff33. And that's where you'll get all the live updates from him. You know, he loves social media, so definitely go on there and retweet him and like his comments and comment and all that. And we thank you once again for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And make sure you check out Michael Griffin the week after Kansas City Titans. Right
Get those
here.
cupcakes.
You heard it here first.
Last words. Go to Gigi's.
Bye.
If you're in the Austin area, go to Gigi's.
Cupcake guys, right?